24-25 Topps Chrome Bundesliga released yesterday, and I've got to say the Bundesliga has absolutely delivered the last few years. A lot of excitement, Dortmund losing it on the last match day, heartbreaking a few years ago, never losing with the domestic double, and then Harry Kane this year winning it with Munich, and of course Müller signing off his time with Munich last week or a couple weeks ago at the Club World Cup. So a lot of fun in the Bundesliga, and what better way to remember these moments than collecting cards? And that's what we're going to talk about today. In today's video, we're going to talk about the new release. We're going to look at the value sheet, which format you should buy, what cards are available, and give our recommendation to hopefully give you all the tools you need to decide on whether you should buy the product or not, and whether you should buy a hobby or a blaster box. As usual, we will have the chapters listed in the description if you just want to skip ahead to certain sections that you're interested in. And before we get started, if you could do me a huge favor, comment, like, subscribe if you found this video helpful. So let's jump in. So there are two formats to this release. There is the hobby box, the blaster. There's actually, in the odds sheet, if you take a look from Topps, there's 4 formats. There's Sapphire, which hasn't been released yet, and there's a Germany exclusive blaster box. I do not know all the information about that particular Germany exclusive one. It does look like the odds are pretty similar to the normal blaster box. So we're just going to talk about 2 formats today. So hobby boxes, going to run you $75, still available on Topps last time we checked. They guarantee you 1 auto, and they're going to come with 80 cards. Then there's the blaster that is retail, $25 a blaster. They're going to come with the retail exclusive 4 Pulsar. These are the base parallels. They are not numbered, and then 28 cards total in a blaster. Now, real quick, before we go into the odds sheet, before we go into the checklist, one thing I will say is a Bundesliga product, outside of like die-hard Bundesliga fans, typically not super popular. So product doesn't really sell out too often, especially with resellers. And we do see a trend where the box prices will drop over time. There are a few years with big desirable rookies where the box prices are a little bit higher, but there's a few years where you can find the hobby box is still at resale sites, sometimes as low as $25 all the way to about $40. So if you're not very, very set on, hey, I need to rip the latest box, might be worth waiting or looking into buying a cheaper hobby box if you want that guaranteed auto, just want something fun to rip. So just throwing that out there. So let's jump into the odds. So real quick, if we look at top level price per card, the blaster boxes slightly cheaper than the hobby boxes, but not by too much. That's the same with the cost per pack. The reason I waited until today to release this video was I did want to double check on the number. And it's because the blaster boxes or the value boxes, surprisingly, or maybe not so surprisingly, had really, really bad value. And I was a little bit surprised by that because I usually do analysis on Topps baseball products, and retail products usually don't have great odds, just generally. But usually Topps, at least within baseball, will throw you a bone in retail where certain types of cards will have significantly better odds in retail than in hobby, and hobby usually is a lot better for the lower number cards or autographs, and retail is better for maybe non-auto parallel hits and inserts and those types of things. But here, as you can tell, just overall, hobby just blows blasters out of the water in terms of value. Yes, you have to pay $75 instead of $25, but if you're trying to get a hit, you buy 3 blasters, the value is not going to come close to a hobby. And so that was really surprising. The only place a hobby stood out was a couple of the inserts on the base inserts, and then the new insert across the board, like Wild Jungle, and then the retail exclusive Pulsars. Otherwise, if you have the $75, it seems like hobby is definitely the way to go here. So it was a little bit surprising, but that's probably the biggest takeaway from this video. So as far as the checklist goes, we're looking at the base cards. The base set is going to be 100 cards. I believe that's the same as last year. One of the things I do like about that is it's not a huge checklist, and Topps I thought did a pretty good job in terms of spreading out the number of teams or the players per team in that base set. So about 5-ish players per Bundesliga team. So it's a nice spread there. And here we have a picture of that. The one thing I didn't like is there are about 25 parallels to the base set. I think that's just too many for Bundesliga, but Topps is just generally been going after the Fanatics acquisition has been going crazy on the parallels. Then we've got the unbeaten short prints. Those are pretty cool. So, like I mentioned earlier, never losing. There was the domestic double where they did not lose, and so those players on the checklist have a pretty cool short print. And there's the history is now duel. So 2 players, 1 card. Big names, past and present of stars. Ultra Beam. I think this is a really cool insert. I'd say it's probably my favorite looking insert. It reminds me of Stadium Club's Beam Team. So very nice looking one there. And then the top 11. So some of the stars from this past season. So you can see all familiar names right there. There, Wild Jungle, very big checklist. And then you can see they have like different animals. This is like a new insert. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if you like this insert. Here's like a picture of it. Personally, I'm not a huge fan. It looks a little bit weird to me. Same with the first taste. These are for the rookies. I will say it is a die cut card. I like die cut cards. They're pretty cool. But this first taste one, I guess it's like someone chomping off the corner there. I don't like it. I don't like the look. Then we've got the Hobby Masters. Very, very good players on this checklist for the Hobby Masters. Sapphire selections I believe that'll be in the Sapphire release and not in this one. So I think there should be a separate one for that. And then there's the Buzz inserts. Okay, on there. And then the Diamond Etch. I think this is probably my second favorite in terms of the design. Got a similar feel to the Ultra Beam, so maybe just my style there. And then top players on this. Then we got the trophy card right there, the Meisterschule. Don't know how desirable it is. I think they have that every year. And of course, the autographs thing, it's a big thing. Hobby will guarantee 1 autograph per box. So hopefully you get some big names. Otherwise, quite a few of these autographs, if you get the non-numbered, even the lower or high numbered parallels, probably not very valuable on most of these autos, to be honest. Like, looking at eBay from some past releases, you can get some autos for like $3. So if you hit a big name, very cool. Will it be worth the $75 for a hobby? Questionable unless it's a big player. Dual autographs and triple autographs are going to be huge chases. Love the players that they put on here, whether they're in Bundesliga now or in the past. So that is definitely something to look out for. Odds are very hard to get those, as we saw earlier. I guess I didn't stop to call some of the numbers, but to hit some of these big ones like the dual autos, triple autos, and then some of the one-on-ones, we're looking at like 7 figures on average spend just to hit some of these big chase cards. So just be aware that breaks could be a way to go to increase your odds. I think the cases are 12 hobby boxes. So just quickly going through these, just different autograph variations of the inserts we talked about. And then I think the big chase ones are going to be these 3 one-of-ones, the Der Wirtz, Der Musiala, and Der Kaiser. So that's Franz Beckenbauer. Rest in peace. Recently passed away, so could be one of his last new autographs. So one thing to call out here is their big chases, but with Franz, we don't know if there'll be any new autographs after this release, so that could be a big chase you're going for here. Musiala, superstar, but with the Club World Cup, the horror tackle and just the ankle injury, it's going to take a long time for him to recover, and don't know if he'll be the same player after that. We've seen players recover from that fine. We've also seen players who've had similar types of injuries and they just never been the same. Wirtz, another superstar, record signing for Liverpool this summer. I think he'll do great. But we'll see if it translates. I think it's, if he's like De Bruyne when from Wolfsburg to City, and if Wirtz can replicate that, I think, value of his cards are going to just keep going up. But there's always a risk, new league, new country, especially being so young. And then the pressure of having such a huge transfer price tag. So don't know how he'll do in a different league. So just some things to be aware of, especially if you don't follow the Bundesliga. Just some of my thoughts there. And then we've got the Verve Chrome, but Buzz autographs, and that pretty much wraps it up in terms of the checklist. So that'll be all for our in-depth walkthrough. Just to summarize, I think checklist is pretty decent. I think too many parallels. There's a couple inserts in there that are The chase cards, Topps does a really good job of like making the big chase cards like extremely awesome. But again, if you look at the odds sheet, if you go back to that, just remember on average how much you would need to spend in order to hit one of those cards. So just be aware of that. Otherwise, I think it'll be a really fun rip. I feel like Topps has been putting more effort into the Bundesliga product at least the last couple of years, which is pretty good. So more things to maybe look forward to in future years with Bundesliga and Topps' licensing with them. And there's some good players. But prices usually drop for these and don't sell out too often. So really just depends on what you're looking for. Could wait, could buy or rip an older products. For myself, probably gonna wait and see where the prices are, and I don't know. I might, for fun, grab an older box for like $25 or $30. The price has been fluctuating here and there the past few months, but if one drops to 25, probably pick it up. Just do a rip. See what we get out of that. I think that's still better value than the blaster boxes for this rip. With that, really thank you for sticking it out this long and watching the video. And we will see you in our next video.